Trust me, right? She does everything while the husband is out working, guarding the husband's house, right? Now, this prescription is not directed at a righteous husband and a righteous wife. This prescription is towards a wife who shows disloyalty. Now, what should a righteous husband do? If the wife is being disloyal, the first step is fight to her. Be kind to her, give her admonition, warning her. Our marriage is at a turmoil right now. You know, it's not working. You're not respect. Wait, 1 second. No, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I'm giving you the understanding, yeah? So the husband role, and this is the righteous husband, not an abusive husband, because Allah already defined the righteous. This prescription is only for the righteous husband, not for those who have beat their wives. Okay, so the righteous husband, if they find that their wife is showing disloyalty or not respecting him, right? Then Allah prescribes the righteous husband to tell to the wife to be nice to her, give her advice them. Okay, now if this doesn't work, what's that showing you? The husband has compassion. Yeah? Then the next step is abandon their beds. Now, according to interpretation, it doesn't mean that the husband sleeps in the next room. No, you sleep in the same bed, but the husband shows the fact is the wife. Now, according to the wife psychology, what does that show you? What does that show you? Wait, hang on. I don't care about the brackets. I'm giving you interpretation. So this second stage, to abandon their bed, it doesn't mean that the husband sleeps in a different room. No. 1 second. 1 second. It means the husband and the wife, they sleep in the same bed, but the husband turns his face away. And for wife's psyche, the wife knows, okay, the husband's not pleased with me. Okay, now that should be a wake-up call for the wife, right? Now, does it still permit to be the wife? No, you still have to exercise it. Then, if she doesn't understand, she's not psychologically correct, she's not realizing that she's having a problem, this is the only time, because the husband is in a separation. Now, this is how did the companions understood this? How did the Prophet understood? In the hadith, he mentioned غير مبرر. Beat them lightly. غير مبرر. Beat them lightly. I can't. No. Yes, please. No. No. It's not my second. No. 1 second. You're talking to me. You're not. No, I'm a Muslim. It's my responsibility to educate. I will come back. Right. So I will address it. Come back. Yes, come back. Right. Now, does the ayah end here? No. Many of the scholars, like Imam Shafi, rahimahullah, he actually recommends the husband not to go to the first step because sometimes it could backfire the husband. Right? You can do whatever you want. But does the verse say you have to strike the wife? No, it doesn't. It's giving you the options, giving you the choice. Right? Please. No. No, that's not. I just want to clarify. No. The verse. I just want to clarify. No, the verse is saying no. It's not concluded. It's not concluded. Go on, man. Yes.
But to what I'm reading, that's in the brackets. So someone may argue that all these things happen.
I don't care about the bracket.
Okay, you don't care about the bracket. That's an escalation. How can you say that the resolution, the third step, which is the heaviest one, is the final resolution? That is just to keep the wife with a stick. That makes sense to me. So it's supposed to be stronger than the 9 going to bed.
That is stronger.
Which one? The second or the third?
No, the third is stronger.
Okay,
yes, because a righteous husband, first of all, Allah doesn't say if your wife is disloyal, you strike them. No, the husband is taught to be arrogant. No, wait, hang on. So the husband, wait 1 second.
Yeah, they feel that so.
1 second. When we go to the Bible, you will not be able to defect. Trust me. Now, easily, Allah could have prescribed the husband to beat their wife. No, he didn't. He's given the husband, Allah is teaching the husband how to deal with a wife who's not realizing that she's getting a problem. Wait, 1 second.
How do you get free steps?
1 second.
I want to understand.
You keep just in your cave. I just answered you. Many of the madahib, many of the schools of thought, like Imam Shafi, he takes the opinion that the third step is not recommended because sometimes the wife may be more rebellious.
But I can give you. I can even
one second, right? Now, that's the first point. The Quran doesn't say it's compulsory to go through the 3 steps. It's giving the husband the chance, the option, if he wants to. The second point is that the Prophet already told us that when it's beat, you do not strike in the face, do not leave a mark on the bruise, do not show any cuts. The Prophet said, do not beat Allah's handmaiden. He said it very clearly. Do not strike in the face. Do not leave any cut. Do not leave any bruise. So he made it very clear. Now Ibn Abbas, who is the Mufassir of the Quran, who is the interpreter of the Quran, wait, what did he say? To give you a demonstration of how to beat a wife lightly, if needed, is using like a toothstick. That's it.
But
Now you can argue, you like, but why do you
I'm at least
defend?
to be able to say what you wanted to say the best way possible. Now, come on, man. Let me just give context for the conversation. I was talking to a guy that is not here anymore.
I know you.
So I gave him. Let's say that the word lightly doesn't appear in the Quran. Sorry, the opposite. Let's say that the word lightly appears in the Quran. My point was, according to Surah 4, verse 34, it says that husbands are allowed to beat their wives lightly. That was my point. I'll give it to you.
Let me tell you the wisdom. Let me
Yeah,
tell you the
but
wisdom.
can I finish?
Go on then.
Yeah. So, and he admitted that. So that was my point. Okay. Doesn't matter if the word lightly or not appears. So my point was, does the Quran support beating your wives?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. But even you have said that
No.
it gives you the allowance.
No,
It
no,
allows you
no.
that.
See, this is-
And also, you say, sorry, you have spoken. Let me finish. So the text is intelligible. It's very simple. There's an escalation of 3 steps. If you fear that your wife is not good to you, step 1, you do this. If she doesn't obey, step 2, there's an escalation of steps.
What's the step?
Step 3 is beating your wife.
Yes.
So it cannot be that lightly when it's the heaviest thing.
Who are you to say that? We have the Prophet who's already explaining to us. This is the problem. You don't know.
And you say that
I've let you spoken.
Remember,
Let me-
it's a general thing according to the text.
Let me explain. No. Let me explain.
Talks about
Let me explain to you.
plural.
Let me both. Wait. No. I can't speak 2 people at once.
All right.
Either I'm speaking to you or him.
Okay.
I can't multitask. Okay. Now, no. I need to respond to him. Now, this is a problem. Wait.
Okay, you respond to me and then you will respond.
Yes, that's fair. Now, the problem here is you don't understand tafsir al-Quran.
Okay.
You don't understand how we interpret the Quran. So let me educate you right from the basics. Forget about this ayah right now. I'm going to give you a principle, that for future reference, when you study the Quran, make sure you follow the steps. Now, tafsir al-Quran, the Quran, that's the first step. The best tafsir of the Quran is the Quran itself. If there are other verses that explains the other verses, then this is the best explanation of the Quran. Now, the second step, tafsir al-Quran, the ahadith an-nabawiyah. The explanation of the Quran according to the Prophet peace be upon him. How did the Prophet peace be upon him explain to us these verses? That's the second step. Now the third step, tafsir al-Quran, the aqwal as-sahaba wa tabi'in. Then the next step is to explain the Quran according to understanding of the companions and the first 2 generations. Then the fourth step,
Just like in the
tafsir al-Quran, the Arabiya lughiyya. Then the next step is to explain the Quran with Arabic language. This is how we understand the Quran. And this is why I said right from the beginning, I don't accept translations. Because translations word by word.
There is difficult
I go by interpretation. So now let's go back to chapter 4, verse 34. Right. Let's go back to chapter 4, verse 34. So let's apply these exegetical principles that I've just explained. Okay. So it says, وَضْرِبُهُنَّ. Beat them. Okay. Now, how did the Prophet, peace be upon him, explain to us this verse? He said, Mubarak. Lightly. Ibn Abbas. Had you understood this verse? He gave it a demonstration over Tuesday. And the Prophet said very clearly, do not leave any marks. Do not strike on their face. Yeah? So, whether you feel that, what's the point of beating your wife blindly or not, I don't really care. But I'll still explain to you the wisdom behind that. Have you heard primal passion? Primal passion. Okay. So, for example, if a wife is caught of committing adultery, okay, the husband, if he caught his wife, someone in another bed, what does he usually have to do? What does the husband usually do? Attack them. Primal passion. Now, do you know that according to this country, he has some excuse? But in the Quran, there's no excuse. You see the point? So that's why when Allah revealed this ayah, is to regulate the husband's behavior. That, look, Allah understands that you've been patient towards your wife, you've done all the necessary steps required, but the least you can do to show the wife is to show to the wife that this is serious now is attack. That's what you can do.
You know what? That's
Now,
that's insulting my intelligence to say attack. Because when we look at the other hadith, similar to that, people are actually complaining. No one complains about it. Right? You see what I'm saying? No one's complaining about it. Right? It's enough.
this is where you're insincere. This is where you're insincere. Thank you. Go on. This is where you're insincere.
Listen to that, what they say. And then we can.
Go ahead.
Let me be honest with you, man. Just share my understanding.
Go ahead.
Like you say, go ahead, speak. But that's not what I'm using the text.
Yes.
Right? If people are going to.
Oh my days.
Come on, man.
What's a waste of time?
Let me tell you what I'm saying, right? Something that I just want to verify. You might have said it before. I just want to verify again, just to be sure, right? You say that there is 3 stages, right? But when I look at the translation, and you say don't go by translation, I'm going by it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Right? It says first, second, and third, right? It gives an order of events in which things happen, right?
Yeah.
But is that true to the Quran? Can it happen simultaneously? That's what I'm asking you.
No.
Could it happen, for example, could the man advise the woman at the same time not sleep with her and strike her?
No.
Thing.
Because the steps.
Okay, well, I'm just saying because when I look at my Quran, it says here that the steps are in brackets. So I'm just trying to understand if it says first in brackets, then it's the second in brackets, and the third in brackets.
Arabic language.
But I'm just trying to language. Is that something that's been inserted by people, or is that true to the Quran?
No. If one understands the Arabic language, sometimes the English doesn't do the justice.
Okay.
So that's why they put the bracket.
Okay, so you're saying, so I'm going to go by what you said, right, and apply these brackets, right? What's the thing that I find interesting is this, right? The thing that I find interesting here, right, that my friend said, if there are 3 stages, right, first you're advising, then you're not having intimate relations with the woman, right? The man is not having intimate.
No, you still have intimate relations at this point.
No, first he's advising, and then if they persist, he's not having intimate relations with the woman, right? And then after that, he's beating her with 2.
Yes.
How does that make sense?
I just gave you the context.
Right, and then when I showed you Sunan Abu Dawud, right, in which Muhammad advises and says you can beat the women that become
You're being selective now. You're being selective.
Let me get to the point.
I want to hear my brother as well.
Because remember, the same man, Muhammad, is saying these things.
Yes.
He said that they can beat these women. The word beat was used. Right? And then these women complained. Right? Not just one woman, like he said in the beginning. Multiple women were complaining about getting beaten.
You see, he doesn't understand
No, the point that's being made is that these women were getting beaten. If someone's getting beaten with a toothpick, he's going to complain.
No, that's not what he's saying. That's not what the hadith says. So, that's not what the hadith says. No. Don't twist it.
I'm not twisting.
No.
You show me where it says toothpick then. Wait, hold on a second. You show me in this text where it says toothpick.
It doesn't.
From what? So why are you saying?
You didn't listen right from
I
the beginning.
think you were taking what?
No. You didn't listen to me right from the beginning.
Hold on a second.
No.
I listened to you.
No.
The toothpaste is an interpretation which he doesn't care about interpretation.
No.
What you're doing basically.
Wait, what's your turn?
I just want to understand what you were saying. I want to show you that I was listening. Right? You gave all of the you gave all of the explanations about how you verify the Quran, or how you understand the Quran. So tafsirs, to the hadith, to scholars, and that sort of stuff, right? And then and the companions of Muhammad, you talked about that. I was listening to what you were saying, right? But what's happened here is that those things have been inserted into the Quran here. In my version, it says to strike them. brackets like.
No, you're confused. No.
Hold on a second.
Right, Tim?
Yeah.
Tim.
Well, hold on a
You're
second.
conflating. You're actually conflating. You're confused.
Can I just one second?
Can I say one thing? Don't mind. I said right from the beginning. Finish what I want to say.
I'm using my rep. Let me say one part that I want to say something, right? So what's happened is it looks like what people have done, right? It's taking things that suits them and saying, actually, we're gonna
Correct, yes. That happens all the time. That's what you do. Listen, most people, they'll take things. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Because
So,
for me, it seems like
can I just say,
if someone is complaining about,
I'm gonna
let me
spend
say
2
this last
minutes.
point.
I'm gonna spend 2
I know
minutes.
you're saying, like, one last thing. You need to consider this.
yes.
If women are complaining,
Yes.
right, about being beaten, then is that a beating that's like what you're describing?
Complaining. What the fuck is that? Also, did he say if they're complaining about their husband, it's not righteous. Exactly. It's not following what God. Yes. So righteous. So this is exactly. Can I just
Okay.
You brought this very controversial. As a Muslim,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time understanding it. Because it says exactly in the Quran, Drobuhun. Drobuhun means strike them.
Yeah.
If I have struck them, I go exactly. So what I did, I want to know the word strike in Arabic is darb.
Okay.
If you look at the Quran, darb is used all the time. Darb means give an example.
Yeah.
ضربوا مثل. Give an example. Yeah, exactly. So that is used different context. So you pick the context where it says hit. And
You yourself have said that.
even darb.
You yourself have said that.
No, we don't deny it's a physical strike. We don't deny that. If it's denial, it's the degree. Even darb. That's the point. Even darb in Arabic means leave contact. Exactly. In Arabic, darb means I need to leave. Exactly. So some people, I believe that darb means to leave them. If they're not listening to you, you can leave. Maybe divorce. But doesn't mean physically sit and hit them. Exactly. That's what. Again, some scholars they said, well, it might mean take a stick and hit them with it. No. That's confirmed. That's confirmed. No. That's what I said. We don't deny. We don't. Again.
That was the point of the conversation.
So
It doesn't matter if it says lightly.
yes,
I
see you.
I give it to you. Then that's all. Allowing punishment.
No, of course. Because light is.
I'm not saying that's what I do. I'm saying I can concede that.
I agree with you because light is subjective. Exactly. So light could be to me like this, but for you it's exactly. So that's why that
Can I give you a little
go ahead.
bit of
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying that the text is complicated to understand.
No, it's not that. No.
Say that
English language.
controversial.
I explain Arabic is a rich language.
It took him a while to come to this understanding.
So it's not that clear to say that. It's not that clear.
If I respect what then,
Okay. Someone told me
exactly.
Someone told me
I have
that there are 19 levels for
I said that at the beginning. Good. So you just said at the beginning, but you didn't only hit both.
I remember.
Okay.
But someone told me. Okay, can I address what you are saying?
Yes, of course, yeah.
So, let's say you have admitted that the text is a little bit controversial. The
text. I said the verse controversial on most
verse.
people. Yeah, because we don't. Because added was to you. Well,
to you.
That's objective. Okay. So yes.
He told me before that there are 19 meanings or 19 levels for the word darba.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's complicated. I can accept it. Words are complicated.
Sure.
But let's say that there's a narrative in the text. The narrative is an escalation of event.
Yes. Correct.
Events.
That's right.
First step, if your wife is not righteous to you, if you feel you don't need evidence, if you feel that, you do one thing. If she continues in her behavior, you go to step 2. We are talking about escalation.
Escalation, correct.
Now, of the 19 meanings
Yes.
the word darba encompasses,
Yes.
it must be a heavy one
Yes.
because the narrative is leading to the heaviest possibility.
No.
It's going to say that.
Imagine.
No, say that.
No.
It's worse than the text
One moment.
say that before.
Imagine that means leave them and leave is divorce. Divorce is very heavy.
So is that about divorce?
Yeah, it does say. Look, let me.
Oh, it could be. So you don't know what it's about.
You're not
So you don't know what it's about, but you know that it's not about what I say.
You know best 25.
Tell me.
Oh, you see the point?
Or you could.
Right. Let me give. I'll give you the translation. The next verse says that if there's no result, if there's no resolution, then you get a hacker, an arbitrator from his side, and an arbitrator from her side. Now, imagine this.
So what you're saying is that there's possibility of divorce.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
exactly.
And divorce.
Exactly.
Still, you have to.
Let's go by your interpretation. Yeah. Now the beat the meaning is stronger, so proper domestic. Yeah. Proper here. I mean, imagine use your logic here, yeah? If the husband beat his wife so severely in the breach, right? Why would the wife's father arbitrate? He would straight away say, no, this is not acceptable, we're gonna get divorced. So therefore, I don't really care about your interpretation, my interpretation. How did the Prophet just put the word Daraba here? Is very mubarak.
Okay.
Beat them lightly. This is what he says. And
yourself.
And Ibn Abbas, he gave a demonstration. What does it mean? He said, you see, it's a tap. That's it. That's all you can do. You can't go beyond that. This is why I explained to you the exegetical principles right from the beginning, because I don't blame you. Because understand the Qur'an, many non-Muslims do not know how to understand the Qur'an properly. I understand that. But after I explained to the exegetical principles, I give you the evidence that the Prophet said, and I gave you the explanation of Ibn Abbas, who was the interpreter of the Quran, that it means using it as swat. Then what's the dispute? Now, whether you think it's effective or not, I don't really care. That's the point. Now, I'm still going to give you a wisdom why Allah permitted the husband to rigid. You know why? Crime of passion. Imagine a husband finds his wife sleeping with another guy. What would happen to the husband? Not only beat, he would kill her. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's reprimanding the husband, okay, if you are in fit of rage, the least you can do is nothing else. Very, very simple. Now, the hadith that you got. Now, I want to just talk about fine. I want to just do this hadith. Okay. I want to just do this hadith. This hadith is very explicit that the Prophet said they're not the best husbands among you. He's referring to those who are not righteous husbands.
Okay.
He's referring to the abusive husband. But the ayah chapter 4 verse 54, this 3-step, it doesn't apply to abusive husband. It applies to a righteous husband who still does his duty. He supports his wife morally, financially, psychologically, but the wife is not being righteous. You see, so the two cases are separate. Your hadith is not to you in chapter 4 verse 54.
It's exactly just to make it clear. The reason why I brought the hadith goes back to the there was one woman.
I understand.
That's why I brought up, because there was more. Fair enough. Hadith making a complaint, and within this hadith, Muhammad.
Fair enough.
Yeah, is it Rayhan?
Yes, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to get now.
Yeah.
Can I speak about the Bible for 1 second? In the Bible, in the Gospel of Matthew, according to Christianity, can a woman file for divorce?
To my knowledge, no.
Yes, there is. There's a condition. What's the condition of the Christian wife for divorce? On the grounds of the husband showing infidelity, adultery.
Adultery.
Now, let's say, for example, I'm
not sure.
I mean, it is. It's
Well,
in the Gospel of Matthew.
yeah, women's side as well.
Now, let's just say, now in Islam,
Well, hold on. It doesn't talk about which gender. It talks about men. But okay, let's
go with your okay. Now, in the Quran and in Islam, a wife can file for divorce. There's actually a full chapter for Surah Talaq, Surah 65, divorce. Okay. But according to the Bible and according to Christianity, can a Christian wife file for divorce if the husband has been abusive and he didn't commit adultery?
Well, I can tell you that, for example, according, I think, to 1 Peter or 2 Peter 3, it says that because the Bible doesn't address the topic of husbands can beat their wives, yes or not. Because according to one of Peter's letters, if the husband talks bad and kindly to his wife, God won't listen to the husband's prayer. So, and in the context, what he's saying is that there's a spiritual divorce between God and the husband when the husband doesn't speak kindly to the wife. So it doesn't even go to beating. Just by
I
talking,
never mentioned about beating.
but you said, yeah, but I'm just talking to you like abuse. You said abuse.
Abuse could be emotional abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse.
Aggressive, verbal abuse.
Okay, let's say that.
Verbal abuse.
So let's say the Christian. Can I say one thing? Which one I did? Okay. So our prophet is our best example. Yeah. So we want to ask him, does he means hit the woman? What did he say? No. No. So we all agree that no, they've understood. Yes. No, now we're going to the Bible. Oh, fantastic. Anyway, now so the point is that according to Christianity and according to the words of Jesus, he says that only on the grounds of adultery of the husband, the wife can only get divorced. So if the Christian husband is been abusive towards his wife, but he's not committing adultery, can the wife fight for divorce? Yes or no? Okay. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says that a woman cannot fight for divorce unless the husband committed adultery. If the husband has not committed adultery, but he's been abusive towards his wife, beating her up, womanizer, can the woman fight for divorce?
Answer that question.
Sure. And that's very
What's the
complicated.
context? Okay, do you know the context?
Yeah, it's in Matthew chapter 5.
It's in Matthew, but that's not the context. The
Okay, you
context
give me the context.
Yeah, okay. So in Israel, there were two schools of teaching about divorce. The Hamai school and the Gamaliel school. So one said that a husband could divorce his wife, even if the wife could not leave. So husband could go to a rabbi or to the Sanhedrin saying, my wife doesn't cook well, I want to divorce. And he was allowed. Then there was another school saying different things.
What did they say?
The point, I don't remember exactly.
Okay,
But it was Gamaliel and Hamai, I think.
Okay.
Two schools. Then Jesus addresses that context. These two schools. What Jesus said is that you don't have, you can't divorce your wife because you want.
No.
Stop adultery.
No. I'm talking about that the wife is not allowed to fight for divorce unless the husband commits adultery. So there's a condition. She's not allowed to fight for divorce unless the husband is caught for committing adultery. So my question is, hang on. My question is, if the husband is abusive towards his wife, beating her up, domestic violence towards his wife, and she's not committing adultery, can the wife get divorced according to the sayings of Jesus? Yes or no?
Okay. The text is assuming divorce. You know why? Because when you read the context assumes divorce. I'm trying to explain the context. The context is someone saying that Moses, God allowed divorce even in the Old Testament. What Jesus is saying is that marriage was never meant for divorce. Was never meant for divorce. But the law of divorce is there. Because of sin, because of abuse, as you say, God allowed people, even in the law of Moses.
But does God allow the wife who's been abused by the husband, but he's not committing adultery, does God allow the wife to divorce? Yes or no?
It talks about the concept of love.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Show me then that it's just about one gender, not the other. Yeah, okay, sorry. No, can I answer your hand? My opinion.
I don't want your opinion.
I'm going to give you my opinion.
I want the teaching of Christianity. But I really respect. I don't.
Let me explain it. What you're mentioning about marriage needs to be understood properly, because from my understanding, to my knowledge, women are not allowed to initiate for this. Can I get your attention?
Okay, now chapter 5 verse 31, Matthew.
Can I get your attention?
It has been said, Jesus says, it has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you, Jesus said, but I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except, here's the condition, the husband is not allowed to file divorce to his wife except for sexual immorality. So if the wife is, except for sexual immorality, makes her the victim of adultery. And anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. So we have two problems. So a divorce, so no one is allowed to get married to a divorced woman.
I'm gonna say something to you in a second. So according to Jesus, marrying a divorced woman is adultery. That's exactly what Muhammad taught.
But what has the divorced woman done?
That's exactly
No,
what
no,
Muhammad
give me
taught.
evidence. Give me evidence.
Okay.
Give me evidence. We're going to stick to the Bible here. Let me read it again. Let me read it again.
I'll give you evidence. Let me give you
Okay,
evidence.
in the meantime, then you bring
Hold on a
it.
second. I know it, but
We're not going to shift. We're not going to shift.
I'm gonna shift. I'll come back to it.
Jesus says, it has been said, and I know, so why do you bring evidence? I'm going to read it. No problem.
I'll tell you the story.
No problem.
Muhammad married his adopted son's ex-wife.
What's that got to do with not allowing to get divorced?
So what? You
Divorce.
yeah, but you're laughing.
Zainab bin
He's
Jahsh.
laughing.
Hang on. All right, let me see if you know. Wait, hang on. Zainab bin Jahsh, right? What is she divorced? What's the problem? Married to a divorced woman.
Here's my argument. What you just read, what Jesus said. Anyone who marries a divorced woman is committing adultery. You makes her an adulterer because she's divorced.
So what?
Muhammad teaches.
Wait. So if no, he didn't.
He didn't.
Zainab bin Jahsh. No, Zainab bin
Text again.
Jahsh. Zainab bin
Where is it?
Jahsh.
Matthew.
Wait, Zainab bin Jahsh got married with Zayn, yeah? Now, wait 1 second. Wait. Zainab bin Jahsh is a divorced woman and the Prophet married. So therefore it's refuted. It contradicts what he says.
Let me explain.
No.
It's not refuted.
But
It's not
let's
refuted.
take one at a time.
It's not refuted. Wait.
Now, I'm going to read it again. Jesus says, in Matthew, I'm not going to let you go.
No.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 31.
I'm not running away.
Okay, go on.
I'm not running away. Can you just confirm for me,
Yes.
that Muhammad married his adopted son's ex-wife?
And she was divorced. Yes.
That's not
Exactly.
trying to prove that she was divorced, right? He married a divorced woman.
So,
according to Jesus, that's wrong.
no, I don't care. We don't believe in that. That's the point, Tim. That's according to you. Now. No. Oh, wait.
I know that, but
Wait. Why should I? Wait.
I have to leave the room, so I address what you said.
Okay, it has been said anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. Wait, it has been said anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. What? Right, listen. Yes. Chapter 5, verse 31, Matthew. It has been said anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality makes her the victim of adultery. And anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Now I have
anyone who marries a divorced woman,
that's a problem.
commits adultery.
That's a problem.
That's literally what Muhammad did.
Okay, so
that's literally.
No, you refuted. Now,
how is that? No. Don't you say I was refuted. I literally explained to you.
calm down, Tim.
I literally explained to you.
You see, the moment I bring up the Bible, you want to bring up
Like
the
this.
Quran. You want to bring up
What I don't understand is you're judging the prophets and the laos.
The Christ, yeah.
We don't conform to your
So
rules.
why do you call Christ the Messiah then?
I don't care. I don't care about your Bible. I'm just saying I have a problem with this verse.
Okay.
Now, would you allow me to explain I have a problem with it? Okay. So, Jesus says anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. If a woman got divorced because her husband committed adultery and she was faithful towards her husband, what is the fault of a divorced woman? How has she committed adultery?
Islamic logic.
No, answer the question. How has she committed adultery? She got divorced because her husband committed adultery, and yet anyone married a divorced woman commits adultery. What has the divorced woman done? Answer the question.
Answer this.
No. All right, I want him to answer. Because he understood. No, Tim. One thing with answer the question. No. Answer the question.
I'm answering.
No, but I want him. It says anyone who marries a divorced woman.
I don't want it to break down.
No, Tim.
I don't want it to break down. Let me
No,
answer this.
I know you're smirking. I know. Now, anyone. No. I know. I've got experience. I've been coming for 3 years. Anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Now, can you give me a chance to tell me why I have a problem with this verse? Can you?
Yeah,
Just like you had a problem with chapter 4 before, which I answered. Right. Now, anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. If a woman got divorced because her husband was caught committing adultery and she was faithful towards her husband, And if she wants to get married again, why is she committing adultery?
A divorced woman. So first of all, you addressed something before.
Now, I want
Why
to
is
second part,
talking
then we
about
go to the
gender?
first part.
Why is talking about gender?
Yes.
Verse 3 says, some Pharisees approached him, Jesus, to test him. They asked, it is lawful for a man to divorce his wife on any grounds? That's the question.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
Some people,
chapter 5, verse 31.
this is a question.
What has the divorced woman done?
Is it lawful
What has
for
she
a man? Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife on any grounds? So they are asking. The question is already conflated.
But Jesus corrects you. Jesus refines it. He amends it. That's the point. You want to go back to what the Bible says.
The question
But Jesus is
asked
refining
by men. He's not
Doesn't matter.
limiting-
My point is,
limiting-
okay, chapter 5, verse 32, Matthew. Anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Now, I want you to answer the question because you've got to be fair that I answered all of your questions regarding the chapter that is making talk. So, do the courtesy back of answering my question. Now, anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Okay, if a woman got divorced on the grounds that her husband committed adultery, but the wife has been faithful towards him, and she got divorced and she wants to remarry to another guy, why is she committing adultery?
Nice.
How's that
Can
fair?
I respond to that? According to that text that you were reading, right, as far as I understand it, a woman doesn't have grounds to divorce her husband if he's being sexually involved. So the premise of your question,
Thank you.
the premise of your question is wrong. The man has the right, from how I understand, I'm making it very
Why does the
clear.
husband have the right?
I'm making it clear. I'm making it clear. This is from my perspective, right? Now we can see that. The man, remember what we said before, how that is addressed to men in this particular text, right? That's how I understand it, right? So your question, if it's understood in the way that I understand it, doesn't make sense then. So
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. If a man marries a divorced woman, he commits adultery.
was that woman
No,
belong to another man?
no. But
That woman belongs
no,
to another
no.
man.
But if
Why is there
wait,
two
hang on. No.
women
He doesn't
there?
say that. He says divorced woman, which means she's no longer married. The point is here, he's saying that anyone who marries.
Fine, Islamic.
No, I'm going by your Bible. Anyone who marries, and I'm not going to let you off the hook. You're going to have to answer the question. Anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Now,
Why?
a divorced
Why?
woman. What? Let me. I have a problem with this first because if a woman got divorced from a previous marriage because she was loyal towards her husband and the husband's caught adultery, right? Why is she committing adultery for remarrying?
I see what you're saying.
What's the fault of the divorced woman? What's her fault?
Well, from how I can understand it,
How's that
right?
just?
How I
Tell
can,
you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery.
Why?
The one who commits adultery is the one
Right.
who divorces.
Why can't a woman get remarried?
So it's 19 verse 9. And I tell you, whoever divorces his wife,
Yeah.
he's talking about men,
Yeah.
except for sexual immorality, and marries another.
Therefore, it justifies the husband to his wife.
what?
That means the woman can't file for divorce.
See, you're looking.
That's the point.
What he's saying. Okay.
Because he said that.
No. That's another problem I have. Yes.
In our scriptures, it doesn't teach husbands to be their wives.
I'm not saying that. Did I say that?
Hold
Did
on
I
a
say
second.
that?
Hold on a second, because that's
It doesn't prohibit Ivan.
Come on, bro. No, it doesn't.
You're not answering my question.
When he said striker, doesn't mean striker hit that. It's mean straight outside the house.
Is try and use it.
Come out of the house.
That
You come out of the room, and then the second thing, you come out of the house completely. You get it? The same word, if you see it, check it in the Quran. It's mean like God strike an example. He used the same word, strike an example.
Sexual immorality. And then
No, that's not like in the wife. Can the wife fight for divorce?
because it states
How?
that
If the
the
wife-
law of Moses.
But it says only on the grounds of sexual immorality, he has to be divorced. If he doesn't commit sexual immorality, he
It's
can't
addressing
justify.
the question is asked by men, just by men.
No,
and
no.
Jesus uses that
He said
gender.
a man doesn't have the right to divorce his wife unless on the grounds of sexual immorality. So that means if he doesn't commit sexual immorality, then he's not allowed to divorce the wife. So that means he can beat her up, and the wife doesn't.
And I already told you what happens. And I already told you what happens in 2 Peter. That when a husband, it's 1st of 2 Peter, chapter 3.
Like that, so the gospel is not a forgery then. So you're saying that the gospel is not a forgery.
You read her book.
So now you never said this was a forgery. Hold on a second. You never said that this was a forgery.
Okay.
But now we say 2 Peter, you say forgery.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
Are you saying?
Fair enough.
No, wait. Hold on a second. Are you saying that this is not a forgery? Are you saying that it's a valid text?
I believe the whole Bible.
So why are you then singling out
All right.
2 Peter?
I'll take that back.
Thank you.
Now, Peter. Why does Peter have the authority to interpret when you have the words of Jesus?
Because Jesus gave authority to Peter.
And where's your evidence?
No, you don't care about interpretation.
Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence?
His companion.
Because the gospel. So you are using the gospel of Matthew. In those very gospel, Jesus gave authority. Sorry?
You open Matthew.
So you want to deflect?
It's not
You want to Ahan. You said that according to Islam,
No,
right?
I'm
You go back and you have to call the companions of Muhammad.
You have the words of Jesus. You have to say in his gospel. You have the words of Jesus, which is very clear, that anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Why? I mean, this is like this is unfair on the divorced woman. What has she done wrong? And what has the husband done wrong for getting married to a divorced woman? What's wrong with that?
According to the teachings of Jesus.
No. I want you to please answer the question.
Okay. Yeah.
Why is it morally wrong for a husband to remarry the divorced woman?
You are assuming
Yes.
that according to Matthew, then husbands can beat their wives and wives have no right to divorce.
Yes.
What I'm telling you is that Peter addresses that a husband who talks harshly to his wife.
We have the words of Jesus here. Why are you going to Peter?
Yeah, you don't listen to interpretations to people.
Now you understand, isn't it?
Yeah, but you are saying that
Okay.
it's not a valid source for you when I'm telling you that. Can I finish?
Go. Carry on.
But when you go to the end of the Gospel of Matthew,
Yes.
Jesus says to Peter
Yes.
and to his disciples, "You have authority. I've been given authority in heaven and on earth,
Right.
and now you can go and make disciples."
Right.
And also in the Gospel of John says that you don't know
So
everything.
what's Peter's explanation
After Pentecost,
to this part?
that even if the husband, so are you talking about the letter that I say?
No. How did Peter understood what Jesus says? Anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery.
Well, for example, when you go to the letter that I told you, Peter says that even if you speak harshly, if husbands speak harshly to their wives, God won't listen.
No, it's
to the
about
husband's
divorce.
prayer.
No, it's about divorce.
Yeah. Well, let me. So, but I'm talking
Not
about
about someone is married.
I'm
I'm
talking
saying
about
get remarried a divorced woman.
No. Your question is that God is happy with husbands that beat wives
No.
according to your interpretation.
No. How do no? Jesus says anyone who marries a divorced woman. If I get married to according to this, if I get married to a divorced woman,
Yes.
I committed adultery.
Yeah. So for you,
Right,
adultery is by
Right.
marrying the
That's
wrong
according to
person.
Jesus. If I get married to a divorced woman and the divorced woman wants to remarry to someone else, why am I not allowed to get married to a divorced woman?
What's the question in verse 3
Verse 3 of what?
of Matthew 19?
But this is Matthew 5.
Oh, you're in Matthew 5. Okay.
This is I don't know what you're talking about. Okay?
But anyway,
No. I'm asking you, what is morally wrong for me to get married to a divorced woman? Why have I committed adultery?
Give me no reference, please. Because I was in
Matthew chapter 5, verse 31 to 32.
Okay. Because I was in Matthew 19.
How are you? Oh, hello, Peter. How are you? Yeah, nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Read the Christian.
Yeah, we'll go soon. Fine. Still want the answer. What is wrong with me getting married to a divorced woman? And why have I committed adultery? And why does Jesus have a problem with divorced women? In Islam,
Okay.
A divorced woman is allowed to get married. A husband's a man is allowed to get married to a divorced woman.
So the woman
that marriage first.
Correct. Yeah.
Because he may go straight. Yeah.
So whoever divorces his wife, you must give her a written notice of divorce.
Yes.
But I tell you, everyone who divorces his wife, except in a case of sexual immorality, causes her to commit adultery.
Good.
Whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery.
Good. So I have two problems with this.
Yeah.
So a husband is not allowed to get married. A husband is not allowed to divorce his wife unless on the grounds of sexual immorality. My first problem is this: if that husband has not committed adultery, but he's abusing his wife, can the wife get divorced?
Can I answer that? I'll be honest with you. No. I would say no. But let me explain something to you.
Wow.
Let me explain
Did you
something-
hear that? Did you hear that?
Let me explain
Do you agree
something
with
to
it? Do you agree with it?
Let me explain something. Exactly, but I respect it. Explain something to you. Like I said, this is my opinion. Is not representative of the church.
Okay.
Right? Let me just explain to you. You're assuming the setting of the married couple that they're going to be living in the same house while the abuse is going on. If a husband's abusing their wife and they're under Christianity, then the husband himself is going to go through a disciplinary procedure.
Where is that?
Well, we can show you. I can show you in scripture.
No, only on the grounds of sexual immorality. If he commits adultery,
Let me,
Yeah.
dude. I'm giving you the answer,
Go on.
man.
Go on.
Like,
Apologist, go on.
Let me just explain it, right? If a husband is mistreating his wife, then he's not going according to the teachings of Christ, right? Because we're meant to love our wives as ourselves, right? Also, he says that Jesus Christ teaches that the husband and the wife become one flesh, and
What if the husband is not nice?
if he's not nice,
He's not committing adultery.
yeah, no, but if the husband is abusing the woman,
Yes.
right, it doesn't necessarily mean that the woman has to remain in that household. And well, why would you assume that?
No. Because it gives you the allowance.
Yeah.
Because it
Why
gives you-
can't the woman?
No, it gives you the
hold on a
permission.
second. Why can't the
That-
woman?
no, the
wait, hold
husband-
on a second.
the husband
Why
cannot-
can't the woman report her husband to the
husband cannot.
for domestic
Wait,
violence?
hang on.
Rehan,
No,
you're making a point. You're using this point,
Yes.
right, about divorce and stuff. Hold on. Okay,
Go on.
Try to say that if a woman's being beaten
Yes.
badly in her marriage, right, by her husband, she's just stuck there.
Okay.
She just has to walk into an abusive home every single day and be beaten.
That's why it implies.
No, it doesn't imply
Okay,
that.
let me tell you why.
Let me tell you why it doesn't imply that.
You just said no. You just said
no,
said
I thought about the divorce. It doesn't necessarily mean that he stays.
No.
Ray,
If that- wait,
let me finish my point. Just listen to my point, right? Because you've gone very, very far with this little bit of text.
Okay, I'll explain.
Right? You're assuming that this woman, right, who I would say can't get divorced, right, has to remain in that circumstance where she's subject to
Unless she commits adultery.
No.
Yes, that's what it
No,
says.
no, it
Can you
doesn't say
read
that.
it again?
No, it doesn't.
Can you read it again? Can you read it again?
I'm saying.
Can you read it again?
Listen to what I'm saying. Let me explain myself.
I'm not letting you carry on if you're butchering the words of Jesus.
Don't you dare say that.
Then
Don't you
do
dare
this
say that.
then.
Don't you dare say that.
No. No. The only time the husband can file divorce to
I'm
wife
not talking
is
about
she's
divorce.
guilty of immorality.
I'm not
She's guilty of
talking.
adultery.
Rehan, I'm not
Now, if
talking
she's been,
about
no,
divorce.
wait.
I'm not talking about divorce. 1 second.
No, I am talking about divorce.
Yeah, but I'm making a point, right? You're talking about abuse, right? And I'm saying that a woman who's been abused by her husband doesn't have to stay in the same household.
Where's she gonna go? I'll tell you why. Because Jesus says that the husband is not allowed to file for divorce unless. Wait, one second. You can still be married and separate. I agree. Now, wait. So, if the husband does not have the right to divorce his wife unless she committed adultery. Now, I'm giving a scenario which is very realistic today. We know that domestic violence happens, right? That particularly there are women who are being beaten up by the husband. But she cannot file for divorce and she cannot get out of that abusive marriage unless she commits adultery.
then explain that.
Now you tell me, how's that just?
So, but I'm gonna compare now the morals of Islam.
No, 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 no.
And I'm gonna
No, no, it's gonna.
your question.
No, you're gonna have
Your
to stand on
question.
this leg.
So
no, I'm asking you again.
I'm trying to
Don't
stand
bring
on
Islam.
it.
I didn't bring Christianity when I.
Rehan, I'm being.
No. What's your name? What's your name, sir? What's your name? Yeah? You don't have to tell me your real name. I just need you. Right, what's your name? What's your name?
Because
He knows what I'm talking about. I don't think you do. We've got nothing. Wait, no. Jesus said, I'm going to read. No, I want him to answer. Can you give me a time?
Right, go ahead.
Because you still haven't given me the answer. Right. Now, Jesus says that the husband is not allowed to file for divorce unless she is guilty of sexual immorality. Now, if a wife is in an abusive marriage, that he is beating her, he's beating her up, he's not giving her rights, right? Unless she commits adultery, can she get out of that marriage? Yes or no?
So what you want to do is a kind of maze to find that in a way God hasn't provided us a solution. That's what I'm doing. 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 That's what I'm doing.
You may not like the answer, but let him answer.
That's what I'm doing. So you're assuming in a way that in Christianity, abusive husbands are allowed to stay
It doesn't
married.
allow.
And there's no solution.
We heard you.
Okay? So
Wow.
when you go to one of Peter's letters, I think it's 2 Peter 3, verse 15. So it says, you see the moral of God. So you see what God thinks, and that's what God
Got
entrusted
to do with divorce.
Yes,
That's what nothing to do
that's
with
the
divorce.
moral. That's the moral of
No,
God.
Peter is
That's the
saying,
moral
be
of God.
kind
That's what
towards your
God-
wife, blah, blah, blah. No, Jesus is prescribing about a divorce. When can divorce happen? He says that a husband is not allowed to divorce his wife unless she commits adultery. Now, if an abusive wife, the only way that she can get out of the abusive marriage is she commits adultery. That's the only time that she can get out of the marriage.
Yeah, but you haven't.
Now, how's that fair?
Yeah, you haven't listened to the
How's that fair? How's that fair?
Married, that's the thing.
No, that's another thing. What I've understood,
I've understood your point. Let me explain, because I'm raising my voice to try and get.
but I want him to respond.
But he needs to respond, and you're cutting him.
No,
response.
He's
Okay,
not-
if you want my response.
no, let me make that point very clearly. Jesus says a man doesn't have the right to divorce his wife unless she committed sexual immorality. Now, if there is a scenario where a wife is experiencing domestic violence from her husband, she is now trapped. She's thinking the only way that I can get my husband to divorce me and I need to get out of this abusive marriage is committing sexual immorality.
Can I address the answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And if it's a bit long, because I will tackle it from different angles.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll go on. So, first of all, the ontological moral of God in regards to human relationships. I think it's 2 Peter 3:15, but it's in one of Peter's letters. If the husband, so the Bible doesn't address even domestic violence, because according to Peter, if the husband speaks harshly to his wife, God won't listen to the husband's prayer, which means that there's a kind of divorce between God and the husband, which is very big. That's the moral. That's the moral of God. That's how God sees marriage. So it's not even going to domestic violence. It's just words. That's what God says. That's what Peter says. If you speak harshly to your wife, God won't listen to your prayer. So you don't even have to go to beating wife.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to Matthew, whether you talk about Matthew 5 or Matthew 19, it is the same author. So the author encompasses and englobes and bears in mind that what happens in chapter 5 makes sense also in accordance to chapter 19. He's the same author. So chapter 5 wasn't written by one guy. Chapter 19 was written by another guy. It was the same author. The author knows exactly the topic. When you go to chapter 19, when you go to chapter 19, the question is asked by Pharisees. The Pharisees were men, and they asked him, if a man does this and that, Jesus addresses the answer according to the gender that asks the question. Also, you can't deny that, oh, it's impossible to divorce. No, Jesus is saying, you were given freedom to divorce according to the law of Moses because of your sin. But what he's stating is that the value of marriage, the ideal of marriage is this: husband, wife, forever.
Yes.
Just adultery is the only thing that breaks and there's no solution. But it's not saying that if your husband beats...
I've read 1 Peter 3. You missed the part where it says, wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands. So that's the first prescription. The first prescription was given to the wife to submit to the husband. Then the part you say, husband, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner, and as heirs with view of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. Now, let's say, hypothetically speaking, the wife has submitted to her husband. She's done her duty. Okay? Yeah? Wait. Let's say, for example, let's say the husband, let me try and get it right. Let me try and get the right word. Yeah. So there's a condition. There's a condition that the wife has to submit to the husband, and the husband has to be kind towards the wife. But what has that got to do with the permission or only circumstances to get divorced? Because Jesus says very clearly, a man does not have the right to file his wife for divorce unless she commits adultery. So that's not her way of submitting to her husband, right?
No, but you are forgetting what I said.
Yes.
So the question is addressed by Pharisees, men.
Yes.
Men. It's not saying this is the only way when men do certain things to their wives.
But Jesus posed a condition to it. Unless she commits sexual immorality.
Yeah, but he's saying
So
that
why does he say
adultery in general terms, whoever commits adultery.
Yeah.
It's not that adultery is something that is recognized as adultery when the husband does it to the wife.
Yeah. I understand.
The other way as well.
But still, an abusive husband can still, how can I say it? If the wife hasn't committed adultery and he's abusing his wife, can she file for divorce? You're giving me morals. You're giving me, there's a difference between morality and law. I'm talking about the law. The law says that a man doesn't have the right to divorce his wife unless she committed adultery. Now, you gave me Peter when you're talking about the duty of the husband. But the duty of the husband has got nothing to do with the condition that Jesus put on. Even if she's been good towards her husband, even if he's been kind towards her, it's the law. That's the point. It's the law. The only way that the wife can get divorced from the husband is she commits adultery herself. You're confusing between the law and no. It's between the law and conduct. There's a difference. I'm not talking about the conduct. I'm talking about the law. According to Jesus, what does the law state on the grounds that he can file for divorce? Only if his wife commits adultery. That's to do with the law, not the conduct. 1 Peter is to do with the conduct. I'm not talking about the conduct. I've given that. I'm talking about the law.
Okay. You give me the conduct. Not the law.
I'm talking about the law. I'm not talking about the conduct. Yes. Yeah, I'm talking about the law, not the conduct. Do you know the difference?
Yeah. So one thing is the civil law, the actions one person can do or take. The other is the moral, is the standard, or how you can behave.
No. Jesus is prescribing a law. Jesus is prescribing a law about divorce. When you quote from 1 Peter, you're talking about the conduct of the husband towards the wife. But Jesus is not talking about the conduct of the husband. He's talking about at what circumstances can a husband divorce his wife. And he can only divorce his wife on the basis she commits sexual immorality. So if she doesn't want to be with her husband, the only way that he can get her divorced is if she commits adultery. That's the only way that she can get divorced.
Yeah, but that was given according to a law and to a country where they were given not for divorce.
So why is she forced to commit adultery just to get out of the marriage?
She's not forced, but she's not.
No, Jesus put the condition.
This is the problem. Can I just jump in?
Yeah, sorry.
Forced to commit adultery. That's the problem with your argumentation.
No,
Hold on. Can I explain?
where did I say
Can I just say
Christianity allows divorce? Allows adultery. I never said that.
forced to commit adultery to get a divorce?
Why is that fair?
I'm not saying that your argument's wrong. That's what I'm trying to say, right? You have to look at the circumstances, right? You've got a Christian man, right? A Christian man, and a Christian woman. So these are people that are living by Christian principles.
No. Again. I'm not talking about conduct. I'm talking about the law. I'm talking about the law. I'm not talking about the conduct.
Let me argue my point, please. I just want to say what I need to say, right? You've got a Christian man and a Christian woman, right? They're married together, right? You're claiming that this Christian man, if he's abusing her, the only way that she can get out of marriage is by committing adultery.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk about that situation where the man is actually abusing her. What options does she have while she's being
Committing adultery.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, that's
No,
what
she
Jesus
doesn't.
is saying.
Listen to what I'm
saying.
Dude, listen to what I'm saying. If the woman is in a marriage where the man is abusing her, does that mean that she?
How can she get out of marriage?
I'm not saying that she's going to get out the marriage.
How?
Listen to my argument, dude. Just listen to me for a second.
I'm not talking about the conduct. I'm talking about the law. What does the law
Listen to
say?
what I'm saying first, right? I'm not saying that she can get out the marriage. That's what I'm saying. He might not have the same view as me, respectfully.
So how can she get out of marriage?
Let me just listen to me. You're focused on getting out of marriage because you're looking at it from an Islamic perspective.
No, did I quote from the Qur'an and Sunnah?
No,
I quoted from the Bible. No,
Let me make the point. You're not letting me make my
He's talking
point.
about the duty of the husband, the duty of the wife. Granted, what does the law say?
Let me make my
He
point,
cannot
dude.
divorce his wife unless she commits adultery.
You're talking about-
So if she wants to get out of divorce, the only way she can get out of divorce
Listen
is she commits adultery.
to me.
Because she doesn't want to be married with him anymore. She doesn't want to get married anymore. Why? That's her decision. Why? Because it's not working anymore. Wait, hang on now. Am I a counselor? Am I a marriage counselor?
When you're talking about marriage, now you're
Are you talking about marriage counselor?
let me just make it up.
Right, but if she, right, but Kenda, oh, okay, good. I'll answer your question. If a Christian is, wait, hang on. If there's an abusive husband towards his wife, but can she still get divorced? Can she still get divorced without committing adultery?
Christian, I would say yes. I'm not representing all of
There, where's your evidence? Where's your evidence?
what people say. There's an option for her to escape the abuse that you do.
Where?
That's what I'm saying.
She can just leave.
No, she can't. She has to commit adultery. Get out of divorce. No.
Divorcing.
No, the Mosaic law says the man. It's the man who has the right to divorce, not the woman.
That's the final marriage.
No, the wife doesn't have the right to get divorced. It's the man.
You have quoted. But that's the point.
I didn't say about separate places. I'm talking about divorce. I'm talking about divorce. Why are you talking about separation?
So chapter 5 is interesting.
Are you listening to yourself? I'm not talking about separation. I'm talking about divorce. I'm talking about divorce, not separation. You can still be married and separated. Okay. Now listen to me very carefully. I'm not talking about. Yes. I'm not talking about the conduct of the husband. I'm not talking about that. So whether the husband is good or bad, whether the husband is good or bad, a bad husband or a good husband, if she wants to get divorced, can she get divorced without the need to commit adultery? Yes or no?
My opinion, clearly, yes.
No, but it's
yes. You want to complain. So the text is not saying if your husband beats you, then you can't escape
Does
that
allow. It
situation.
does allow. Why did Jesus say a man doesn't have the right to be divorced unless he abuses his wife?
Does
Or
it
doesn't
mean
give her the right?
the
Why
man
doesn't Jesus say that?
Does it mean that the wife cannot escape or has to remain?
That's the point. I'm talking about according to the law. Can she get divorced? Yes or no?
He's talking about your
Can she get divorced? Yes or no? Can she get divorced? Yes or no?
He can
How? Give me the
he can stop the relationship.
How? I really.
You are basing your argument, for example, in Matthew chapter 5.
Yes.
Matthew chapter 5 is not talking about the civil laws of something. It's talking about the values of the kingdom. It's the Beatitudes. It's
No,
about
talking about marriage. What are you on about? No, he's talking about marriage.
You are talking about according to
No,
according to the law of Moses.
Spirit.
You are talking about to the law of Moses. But
The point is,
saying
no,
you heard,
I don't
you
that
heard
point.
me,
You know it.
but I
Now,
tell
my point is this. My point is this. Listen to me very carefully. Yes, in First Peter, it says that the husband has to be righteous towards his wife. No problem. Granted, that's the case. But that's not a law. That's a conduct. But according to the law that Jesus prescribed, can the wife get divorced unless she commits adultery? Yes or no?
So you?
Yes.
Yes, because you are trying to separate conduct from law.
And that's why I
but
did.
the gospel, the values of the gospel don't separate conduct from law.
You get it?
Because we are that. We don't have like prescriptions. That's what you have, for example, in Islam. In Islam, beating us right now would be illegal. But if we do it
So
in
why
the
did Jesus put
it would be
condition?
fantastic.
Why did he put condition?
But Imam comes and says, Allah,
Wait, hang on. Why did Jesus put a condition there if it's not a law?
Remember,
No.
Matthew,
Answer the question.
I'm trying to answer you. Matthew chapter 5. You said before.
Yes.
But that's according to the law of Moses. Chapter 5, from chapters 5 to 7, Jesus followed this narrative.
No, Jesus amends the Mosaic law. See, you're not reading.
No, he's saying
What did
this.
Jesus say? What did Jesus say? Matthew 5:17.
Remember, listen to this.
What does Matthew say?
Listen to this.
No,
Because
you don't
I repeated in chapters 5, 6, and 7. You have heard that the law says this, but I tell you that.
Exactly, that's my point.
So, no,
Did
that's
Jesus
not your point.
abrogate the Mosaic law? Did you say that? Or did you amend the Mosaic law? What did Jesus say in Matthew chapter 5
He's
and
giving
17?
a new law.
Jesus gives the answer.
A new law that is separated.
New law. Did you hear that? He says, no. Remember what he said? Remember, no. Remember what he said a few months ago? Oh, Christianity doesn't have these prescriptions like Islam, yet you say Jesus is giving a new law.
No, I'll take
So will you retract your statement?
But you are quoting
Will you retract your statement? Will you
You're
retract your
quoting a
statement?
gospel.
Will you retract your statement? Will you retract your statement here?
So,
Will you retract your statement? You just said that Jesus gave us a new law, and yet a few months ago you said Christianity is not like Islam that has laws. But really, you said Jesus gave us a new law.
a new law that is not based
The
on
laws. I'm
conduct.
asking you if the wife doesn't commit sexual immorality, can she get divorced from the husband? Yes or no?
He's not forced to live.
I didn't ask you
with
that.
him.
I asked you if she just wants to end the marriage. It's not working. The husband's not giving me my right.
Well, you get married.
Can
it doesn't
she
work.
get
Work it
divorced?
out.
Can
Go
she?
to a counselor.
No wonder why. No wonder why many European women cheat. Because they experience from domestic violence. The only way they can get filed for divorce is to commit adultery.
Now you
That's the
the
point.
woman
We can't discuss that.
Christian values.
Can she file for divorce unless she goes out and commit adultery? Yes or no?
Your question was this.
Okay. In Islam, you want to hear about Islam? There was a case study of a woman. There was a case.
Wait, you know what it is?
She's not answering my question.
You want
He's not answering my question.
Genuine.
Yeah, I know. He's not answering my question.
Genuine.
No, you should be genuine.
So
He's not answering my question. No, he's not answering.
yes, we did.
No, he's not.
More than an hour.
Did you hear him say it's the new law?
This guy's confused. That's
Does the wife have the right to file for divorce unless she commits adultery?
You ask me if a wife can escape an abusive husband.
Yes.
I told you the values. According
Yes.
to Peter, he says that the Bible doesn't address even domestic violence because Peter says that if a husband speaks harshly to his wife, God won't listen to his prayer.
Good.
That spiritual
But does it
divorce
say
between
but
God and the
good.
husband.
But does First Peter say if the husband is not being good to his wife, file for divorce? It doesn't say that. That's my point.
not
Separate the
what
context from the law. If you have, see, he got the point. No. So you have an abusive husband. No, you have an abusive husband. You have an abusive husband, right? He's not doing his duty, but yet he has the final say. He has the right. Whether he wants to divorce his wife or not. The only way that the wife can file for divorce is if she commits adultery. Now, how's that just? Why does she have to commit adultery to get
I
divorced?
just want to understand that.
Can you answer that?
I just want to understand that setup.
Can you you haven't answered my question.
I'm just trying to understand that setup.
Go on.
You keep bringing up this abuse thing, right?
Yeah.
Remember, this conversation is on the back of us saying, and you admitted this, that in Islam, husbands can beat their wives.
No, get out of here, man. Honestly. You're being insincere. You're being insincere. You're being insincere. I've answered this question. No objection. And when I go to the Bible, I'm not.
It's okay. I'm not running. It's okay.
Now,
I'm not running.
Can you answer the question? No. You have a big mouth. No. I want you to answer. I want you to answer. Okay. So why are you talking then?
Rehan. We're taking the camera as well. Because remember, I've been entertaining your Muslim cameras here. The first Christian camera we have, so it's important that they have an update on what's
Oh yeah, it's very important. According to Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, do you want me to address the Christian audience? According to the Gospel of Matthew, yeah, but you told me. According to the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, Jesus says that a husband, a man does not see why you talking over me. A man does no. See why he's taking over.
I'm going to give you the context for divorce according to the Gospel of Matthew. First of all, the Gospel of Matthew was written by the same author who wrote chapter 5, wrote chapter. Yeah, was good. Your question was valid. I'm not.
Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and it's true. Sorry, I forgot 1 Corinthians that says that if you're not a little bit, yeah. But the point is, Jesus doesn't address particular points. The context is, at that time there were 2 schools of theology in regards to divorce. The school of Gamaliel and the school of Hamai. One said that a husband could divorce his wife even if she wasn't an expert in cooking, I don't know, biscuits or whatever. A husband could go to the rabbi or to the Sanhedrin and say, my wife is rubbish at cooking lentils, and he was allowed to divorce her. That's the point. Jesus is saying the only reasonable ground for divorce or justification for divorce is adultery. But it's not saying that then if a husband beats his wife, then there's no way to escape that situation.
Yeah.
So he's talking about concepts, ethics, moral. Well, the Bible says, addresses even kind of verbal domestic violence. So I don't know how to make this term, but that's all. It's just like, yeah, that guy wanted us to say what is not written. Anyway, that's all. You did a good job.
You too, man. A very good job.